Good morning, everybody. This is Greg, Redneck Workshop 1. Today we're going to be installing the Fox ATS steering stabilizer in 2018 Ford F250 6.7 liter diesel. This is the high-end steering stabilizer. The shaft comes out the back. The adjustment screw is right here that they talk about in the instructions. It is not this. This is the fill port cover for the nitrogen. So don't be thinking that's your adjustment screw. It is actually this one right here. You want to turn this fully counterclockwise to make it easier to move around. You want to expose 1/8 inch of the shaft. The tools you're going to need is a torque wrench, an 18mm socket, and a 15mm socket, of course a ratchet, the block, the securing screws, 3/16 Allen wrenches, it's two different types, and of course a screwdriver to adjust the adjustment screw. Make sure you read and understand the instructions. If you don't, there is a number for you. You can call or you can email to get your questions answered. This is a fairly easy installation. I'd call it about a 1 1.25 on the hardness scale. And then once you're done, you want to put the adjustment screw back at about position 4 or 5. It does have ratcheting clicks, and then drive it some, and then adjust it to your liking at from that point forward. It's a very straightforward installation. We've already got the truck up in the air. Let's get underneath and get the stock stabilizer off, and then we'll get this one installed. Okay, the two bolts are here and right here. This is an 18, this is a 15. Very straightforward. Take your socket, take this off. You may need a hammer to pop this loose once we get it apart, but that should be fairly straightforward. Get that loose, and we can use the sometimes, yeah, you're going to need a hammer to pop on that. And then this bolt down here is a 15mm. And of course you have to drop the ratchet at least twice to make it a good install. I had somebody ask me a while back if I owned air tools, and the answer is absolutely. However, on the videos I try to use nothing but hand tools to show you that it can be done. Do air tools make it faster and easier? Absolutely. But not everybody can afford all those fancy tools. So I want everybody to understand that you can accomplish these jobs without spending a whole lot of money. A good basic hand tool set is all you really need. So hold that thought while I get out and find me a hammer. Okay, now let's go over this. This is the factory bolt. Notice the taper. It was really jammed up inside that hole. We took a big screwdriver, put it between here and the rod, put some pressure, and hit this, and it popped out. The reason I didn't put a nut back on there is because I don't care about this, because this is going in the garbage can. So now that's out. Dispose of properly. Now, the new fancy shock absorber, or excuse me, steering stabilizer, reuses the stock mounting bolt back here. So we want to put that in first, and we are going to roughly tighten that back up. We are not going to fully tighten it until we get everything where we kind of want it, but we do want to get it up into position. Ratchet and I today are just not being friends. Okay, now we've got that just about where we want it. There we go. Got a little bit of a snug on it. And now we can come in here and get that over where it needs to be. It's not interfering with anything. And take a look at that, see how our angles are looking. Make sure that that's not going to interfere with anything. Well, I'm not real happy how high that is next to that hose right there. I would think it would need to be more like that. Yeah, I think we're going to try it like that. That way that's not hitting anything. This doesn't move, so this is never going to go into that. Alright, now what's going to happen is that we're going to take the tires and make a hard right turn and have someone hold it in the lock position. And you're going to need the ignition key. It's on the table. And what you do is you put the key in the ignition and you turn it to just the on position so that the steering wheel is no longer locked. And then you turn the wheels all the way to the right. And when you do this, be out from underneath the vehicle so that if anything happens, nobody gets hurt. Okay, now we're in the hard right lock position. So now we want to take a look at this, and we want to get this positioned. And we'll put this block in place. And Alright, what we had to find out here is the bottom, the block that's actually attached to the shock body is actually on a pivot. And you can take a pair of channel locks and put a rag on here and very carefully move this around to line it up on the bar. Getting the Allen head screws started can be interesting, but once you've got them all started, it should go along fairly well. It takes a few minutes. Just be patient with it and work through the problem and you'll be alright. Now we're going to get our lovely assistant to go back and make the hard right turn to the lock so that we can tighten the clamp up. We have gotten the cylinder so that it is in a position that it's not going to rub against anything or hit against anything as the steering goes through its articulations. And once he has it in that hard right turn, we are going to sit here and we are going to evenly tighten up the Allen head bolts. And this is going to take a couple of minutes because you can't see them. You have to kind of feel around and get the wrench started. The head of the Allen wrench, which sometimes can be fun, but just keep working at the opposite ends around until you get it clamped down. And as you see, it takes a second. It's not quick. And we are just going to work alternatively back and forth so that we pull it down evenly onto the shaft. And again, don't get in a rush. Be patient, because there's quite a bit that's got to be taken, a slack that has to be taken up. I am going to sit here and try to get through this. I'm not going to bore you with me sitting here for 10 minutes to we're recording. Alright, now once you get all 4 of these tightened up, and it does take a minute, just alternatively go left, make an X pattern and snug it down. It gets up in there, it takes a second. Now, we're going to have our lovely assistant turn the wheel from left lock to right lock again to make sure that nothing is binding or hitting. Then you want to check all the way up top, left and right, make sure nothing hits. Alright, go ahead. And at right lock, we have an 1/8 inch gap. And then at left lock, the shaft is still protruding out the block, so we are good to go and nothing's binding. So we are going to call that a successful install. Now, what we're going to do is adjust the shuck. Alright, back to semi-center. Now we are going to go clockwise about 4 to 5 clicks, and it's got positive clicks. Now, alright, you want to come make sure we're filming correctly?
You want to take the key out?
Yeah. Now you can turn the ignition off, pull the key out, because this is tightened, it's not moving. We've got this where we want it. And now we're going to torque this bolt to 60 foot-pounds. And that's it. It is a very quick, very easy install. Looks good, and we'll take it for a test drive and see how it feels, and we'll make another little short clip about the difference that it's made. Y'all have a great day, and remember, get out in the shop and do something. Enjoy life, play with your vehicle, learn about it, and